Good afternoon, guys. Hey, this is Bruce Marshall with Simpler Trading, doing the nightly video market update for Wednesday, April the 3rd. And I've got the S&P up here. Let me drill down to a one-day chart here because we've been going up all week. I mean, if you've been watching the markets, you know we've been just up all week. And today, I've got voodoo lines on the chart here, and we opened out of the gate this morning, and once again we touched. This is a skyline right here, so we touched the skyline, failed. Today we opened right through it, came back down, touched it again. I mean, exactly, almost to the penny here, and then we bounced off, and we're on our way up here, 28.85. So I'm looking at this going, we've got tons of momentum, all this kind of, I don't want to say volume coming in the market at all, but momentum behind the stocks. And, our next level up here is we've got a skyline there at 28.97, which is essentially 2,900. And we know the 2,900 is a big magnet. The big round numbers are always big magnets. So as we got a little bit further into the day, we kind of started coming back, which is normal. I didn't read too much into this just because of it's been all bullish one way. Came back again to our skyline. We actually broke down through it here, and once we took out this, the low on the day right here, I was kind of watching this to see if this might break further, but of course, buyer stepped in and just bought it right into the close here. So no damage was done. But let me show you back this thing out on a 5-day chart here. Just some things we need to be aware of. 27.87 to 28.85. So that's a 100-point move it's a 5-day chart. So 100 points in 5 days, that is really, really rock and rolling to the upside. So there is a lot of speed and momentum to this market. And, there's various things in the news. I haven't seen any real solid catalysts for a move of that magnitude. I don't know if it's short covering, if it's FOMO. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. We just know, which direction it is. So I'm looking at this going, 100 points. Our expected move for a week has been running, it depends on volatility, but it's been running somewhere around 33, 35 points, maybe a little bit more than that. But so we're moving about 3x in a week, what we normally do. So we would expect that we might take a pause, take a break. This thing pulls back, reversion to the mean, and all that kind of stuff. However, let's go out here on a little bit longer term time frame, and you'll see I've got our voodoo lines up here. This is the all-time high, and we're almost there. So this next little reach higher, which we can reach it basically right now. We're 15 points away from that today, and we've been moving 20, 30 points a day. Is at 2,900, and then on the other side of that is 2,940, which is the all-time high. So we are within a stone's throw away from that all-time high. Now, the market typically will gravitate toward the old levels, and makes me think that it won't be long before we are up there. I will say this, that I think there's a decent chance that we do one of these kind of moves, maybe here, or even like that, but I think we get there. We do have earnings season coming up in the next couple of weeks, and that will start a whole nother, quote unquote frenzy. And a lot will be in anticipation of that. Once the earnings start coming out, obviously there'll be some good, some bad. As long as across the board the earnings are pretty good, we'll continue higher. But that's the the path of least resistance is certainly up. The higher and the faster we go, going this way is one thing. Going this way, kind of vertically like we've been going, tends to lead to vertical, on the other side, downside, because the other side of the mountain, right? Excuse me. So, excuse me. So, we definitely want to proceed with caution up here. We want to not fight the trend. We want to be bullish in our thinking and setups, but I am probably, going to be quicker to take profits and tighter stops. And once we do hit those levels, particularly the 2940, if we get up there, the sooner we get up there, I will actually start doing a little more hedging on the downside here, in the form of downside calendars, and because they're vol sensitive, that's a great way to trade it, and also butterflies, on the downside. And I might even entertain the idea of selling some call credit spread up above there. And I'm not talking about just the S&P, primarily S&P, but we can do this on the Nasdaq, we can do it on the Russell, and so forth. And other stocks too. All the stocks look pretty much the same. We're very extended across the board, on just about every major stock out there. So time for caution. I am very thin on trades right now. I've only got two or three trades on right now, and it's not from a fear standpoint. It is from an opportunistic standpoint that that I'll jump in when I see some things. And I'll say this, and let me zoom in here. If that being said, if we pull back to here, or better yet, down here there's a 200-day. Excuse me. If we were to pull back here, I would be a buyer, not a seller. I would. At the same time, you can hedge on the way down, make money on the way down, profit there, re-enter at some of these levels for the next run up, and that's my plan. So I hope this helps, makes sense. Again, it's as we are only a couple weeks out from earnings season. I'm looking at the major players, Amazon, Google, Apple, so forth. You could trade those on a short-term basis, but I would be very nimble, doing that. So again, with that, let me wind up here. Hope this is helpful, and I'll see you guys at the next update. Thanks.